watchers, and here's a look at what is going on this week in the news. And we begin from around the world. The Knights of Columbus announced a new campaign benefiting persecuted Middle Eastern Christians. Knights of Columbus CEO Carl Anderson appeared at a press conference in Philadelphia on August 4th. The first day of the Knights' 133rd convention, along with two archbishops whose people have suffered intense persecution in Iraq and Syria. He said that the campaign will expose the crimes against humanity that are being committed. The effort is part of the Knights' Christian Refugee Relief Fund, which has delivered more than $3 million in humanitarian aid to those persecuted in the Middle East. To find out more, visit www.christiansAtRisk.org. In news from the Vatican, marriage after divorce was the focus of this week's general audience. Pope Francis cleared up some misconceptions about the issue. Rome Reports is at the Paul VI Audience Hall with more.
Pope Francis continued his catechesis about the family during his Wednesday general audience. This time, he discussed divorced Catholics who remarry. It's a topic that has generated plenty of interest, especially with the upcoming synod on the family. It was the first general audience of the summer after a break in July, and the Pope spoke frankly about the issue.
La Chiesa sa bene che una tale situazione contraddice il sacramento cristiano. Tuttavia, il suo sguardo di maestra attinge sempre da un cuore di madre, un cuore che, animato dallo Spirito Santo, cerca sempre il bene e la salvezza delle persone.
Fraternity and a sincere appreciation of the love and the truth are necessary for these couples, the Pope explained. Despite what many people think, the Pope clarified that divorced people who remarry are not excommunicated. The statement caused the Vatican's Paul VI Audience Hall to break out with applause.
Queste persone non sono affatto scomunicate, e non vanno assolutamente trattate come tali. Esse fanno sempre parte della Chiesa.
He also spoke about children. The Pope said that they suffer the most in these situations, and for that reason, Christian communities, he said, must be especially careful about how they treat their parents.
Del resto, come potremmo raccomandare a questi genitori di fare di tutto per educare i figli alla vita cristiana, dando loro esempio di una fede convinta e praticata, se li tenessimo a distanza dalla vita della comunità?
To conclude, Pope Francis recalled that there are no simple solutions to apply in all of these cases. He added that communities must support these couples and help them on their faith journey with prayer and charity. Listening to the Word of God and providing a Christian education for their children is also crucial.
In news from around the world, Pope Francis has established an apostolic exarchate, the precursor to a diocese for Syro-Malabar Catholics in Canada. It will be led by their current chaplain, Father Jose Calavilil. The new exarchate will be based in Ontario. The appointment was announced August 6th. About 9,000 Syro-Malabar Catholics live in Canada. They are served by 15 priests. In news from the Vatican, already in 2015, Pope Francis has visited Sri Lanka and the Philippines, Bosnia and Herzegovina, as well as Latin America. Later this year, he will travel to France, Cuba, the U.S., and Africa. That's on top of meetings with heads of state, daily mass, Angelus addresses, and general audiences. I'm exhausted just talking about it. And now the Pope is thinking of adding even more to his schedule. Rome Reports has the details.
The Pope doesn't really like to take a vacation, so he's back on track with his regular summer schedule. He took off a few weeks in July, but now he's considering adding more papal events to his schedule. According to the Vatican's papal household, the Pope is thinking about adding an extra general audience every month during the Jubilee Year of Mercy, which kicks off at the end of the year. The details aren't set just yet, but the extra audiences would be held on Saturdays in addition to the weekly audiences on Wednesdays. Every week, the Pope's audiences always draw in huge crowds to St. Peter's Square. Since he was elected Pope back in March 2013, roughly 15 million people have attended them. With the Jubilee Year of Mercy coming up at the end of the year, perhaps one audience per week isn't enough. The Jubilee Year of Mercy is scheduled to run from December 8, 2015 to November 20, 2016. More than 25 million pilgrims are expected to visit Rome and, of course, the Vatican.
And speaking of the Pope's trip to the U.S., the papal visit to Philadelphia for the World Meeting of Families may be almost 2 months away, but the city is already preparing for the crowds. Mayor Michael Nutter announced traffic restrictions for Pope Francis's September 26th and 27th visit. A traffic box will be designated starting at 6 p.m. September 25th. Cars will not be allowed to travel within the box and will leave, but it will only be allowed back. Only emergency vehicles will be exempt. The Ben Franklin Bridge will be closed 10 p.m. September 25th through noon September 28th. Mayor Nutter admitted that restrictions may create challenges, but that he said as the chosen city, they will overcome them. He called it Philadelphia's moment to shine. Well, that is all the information we have for you at this time. I'm Kate Andrews. Don't forget, you can keep up to date on Catholic news throughout the week with Catholic Newsbreak right here on the Catholic TV Network.